a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, blessed and highly favored in studio today, bringing the Consumer Quarterback Show to you. We have Captain Will Smith in studio with us. He's our aviation expert. We're going to talk with him about the Boeing guilty plea. They're pleading guilty, deceived regulators. Also, Southwest Airlines involved in an investigation. We're going to dive deep into things happening in the skies and also his new Captain's Blend. He's got an awesome coffee line that he's launching now as well, captainsblendcoffee.com. You can check him out online. Also, Orestes Destrade. Did I roll the R's well enough there, Alex?
That's not too bad.
Orestes Destrade, former Yankee MLB player. He played many years in the league. He is also local here. He's the commentator for the Tampa Bay Rays as well, and MLB player. He's going to be on the show as well, representing Murphy Auto Group. He's a friend of the program, friend of Mike Murphy, who couldn't make it and got called to a meeting. So we're going to be talking with Orestes Destrade. Going to be on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel-good story of the day coming at you as well. We have this feel-good story. We always like to bring you this positivity. We know the mainstream media, a lot of the stories you hear, has a little bit of negativity in it, but we got a feel-good story about 8 puppies that were abandoned in sweltering Texas heat. They're rescued by deputies, so we have a feel-good story there coming up here on the program. And I want to remind you, you are invited to our third Thursday event. It's Thursday, July 18th, 6 o'clock, over at Kingmakers, 3707 West Carmen Street in Tampa, South Tampa there, just south of the Dale Mabry and I-275 cross there. It's just south of there. So great location, awesome food. We're going to bring the food provided. What is it? What is this third Thursday event, Brandon? Well, it's a networking opportunity. Come on out, meet some of our expert contributors. You can meet our radio show producers, our team. And Alex, it's always a great time.
Yeah, man, and I'm really looking forward to this one over at Kingmakers. It's such a cool, it's just a cool setup that Mike has done over there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Big screen TVs everywhere. It's a co-work space. Yeah, sports. It feels like a sports bar almost. You got conference room, green rooms, all that kind of stuff. So really cool place. Have you been there?
I have.
Captain?
Yeah, it's very nice. Very, very
nice. Yeah, exactly, man. Cool place. So come on out and join us. You're invited. Our audience, our listening audience, our followers on social. Come on out and join us Thursday, July 18th, 6 o'clock. We're going to have food, drinks out there. Come on in and meet with us, and we'll love to see you there.
Also, we give them the address, too? Do we give them that
3707 West Carmen Street. Yep, just south of 275 there off of Del Mabry. So come on out and join us. We would love to see you there. See us over there as well. Lee's Royal Services. I got to give a shout-out to our cleaning service as well. Lee's Royal Services. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. He also is a handyman service as well. I know a lot of people have that honey-do list. The husband can't get to it. So reach out to Lee. Lee'sRoyalServices.com. Lee'sRoyalServices.com. Home and office cleaning. Lee's Royal Services does a great job. He's going to be there. Also, I'm teaching Win with Sellers on July 31st over at the Pinellas Realtor Organization. I love to give back. I love to teach. And that's part of my passion as helping others. So I'm going to be teaching Win with Sellers July 31st over at the Pinellas Realtor Organization. So, yeah, a lot of cool things happening. You heard about what DeSantis did, Alex?
About the lobster? Yeah, something about the lobster. I'm a big lobster fan, so yeah.
I might bring you some back, man. So I'm going down. I'm excited. I'm going down this weekend.
It's lobsterlicious.
They call it. They dubbed it the DeSantis One Day. Have you heard that? So It's called the DeSantis One Day, and what it is, it's a really cool idea because traditionally lobster season for the Florida Keys is not until the end of July. It's I think it's like the last full weekend of July or something like that. But this coming weekend, there's a one day. It's called the DeSantis One Day. It's on the 14th, Sunday. So, buddy of mine, we're going to go down there. We're going to go get some lobster, pull some lobster up, and go down there and dive and get some lobster.
It's strictly for Florida residents, too,
Florida
right?
residents
We're typically, like, everybody, when it's the lobster thing, like, kind of everybody can go. You can come down from Maine or wherever. Right. But for this one, it's pretty cool. It's specifically for our Florida boys, so it's pretty cool. And girls, for Florida men and women. Yeah.
Yep, go down there and dive and go do some fishing and, have a lot of fun. So that'll be great. So that'll be fun, man. Looking forward to it. All right, a couple of hot listings here. We always feature our real estate properties live on air. We got a hot new multi-million-dollar listing for you here. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach. Compliments of Aaron Foley on the Platinum MVP team. This one is a gorgeous property. $3.4 million listing. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach. One of the hottest zip codes, one of the most expensive zip codes in the entire state of Florida, 33786. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot single family home. And this is exclusive Bel Air Beach location. And by the way, check out our Facebook videos. We went on a Facebook Live. We did several videos pulling up to the boat dock, going out to One Tree Island, checking out the scene, going out to the restaurant scene there as well on our Facebook page. You can follow Brandon Rhymes PA or our public profile as well as Brandon Rhymes. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach. This one has 100 linear feet of waterfront on deep water. You have deep water access there. Gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool. Historic Howard Drive boasts one of the highest land elevations in the area. And you're only 1 block from the beach. So you walk to the beach, you take your golf cart down there and enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. Check out this beautiful $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty, 3101 Old Archer Road in Gainesville. Yes, we have 10% off of pre-construction pricing now, 10% off retail. And this is, you're going to have Gainesville, Florida. You have an opportunity to buy pre-construction luxury condos starting in the 400s to the 900s. You got EB-5 visa approved, and you're only 1.5 miles from the University of Florida, 5 minutes from Shan Medical, Butler Plaza, high-end luxury amenities in this building, state-of-the-art fitness center, equipped with Pelotons, resort-style, temperature-controlled pool, cabanas, grill, chef's kitchen, 3101 Old Archer Road in Gainesville, Florida. We've got 90 units available for sale, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Captain Will Smith back in studio. Will Smith Aviation, welcome back, sir.
Thank you for having me again.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Thanks for coming in. A lot of good stuff happening, man. Let's jump right into the new coffee blend. Hold that up for the folks on
Captain's coffee blend.
I love it.
Some of the best Colombian coffee that you'll ever put in your mouth. I've gotten so many great reviews from this, and it just kind of fell into my lap. I even had David Doble. He texted me the other day and goes, "This is hands down some of the best coffee I've ever had."
Wow.
And people are asking why. And we did a blog. If you go and you'll see our blog that we have on captainsblendcoffee.com tells the difference between most of the coffees that you're getting or you're buying, the beans that are coming off the shelf. But from crop to cup is like what we like to say. But it's like a year before you get that to your cup.
Wow.
And when it sits on a shelf for that long, most companies will burn their beans so the flavor will last longer because they sit on a shelf for so long. With us, we actually roast them to order. So when you go online, you say, yeah, I'd like to get a pound or a half a pound or 2 pounds of this, the coffee blend. And our blend, we keep it simple. It's Costa Rican and Colombian because these have the great flavors, and they're also grown like 1,500 feet altitude to 3,000 feet, which allows it to grow in an environment to produce the best coffee. That's why you say Cuban or Colombian, because they're grown in the mountains.
Right.
But we do like monthly specials. This month is the Costa Rica and Nicaragua blend.
Nice.
It doesn't have the Colombian coffee bean in it, but it's still a delicious flavor.
Yeah, I like that, man. So you can check them out online, captainsblendcoffee.com, captainsblendcoffee.com. Support Captain Will Smith, local economy here by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and our expert contributors. A lot of news in the industry, the aviation industry this week. Boeing, Southwest, a lot of interesting. I'm going to start with a clip here and let you take it from there. Let's start with the DOJ and Boeing.
Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to criminal fraud charges linked to 2 deadly crashes of its 737 MAX planes. Daily Wire reporter Amanda Presta-Giacomo, who's also back today, has the latest.
The Department of Justice alleges that Boeing deceived regulators about the approval and safety of their 737 MAX model. The DOJ says the plane maker violated an agreement that protected it from prosecution for more than 3 years. If the court approves the deal, Boeing will pay more than $240 million for breaching the agreement. The plea deal covers actions before crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia, leaving out recent incidents.
What do we need to know about that, Will?
Well, the Boeing incident on the 737 MAX had to do with redundancy. So when they were doing the 737 MAX, they had to make some engineering design changes to it. Well, Boeing didn't want it to have to go through recertification by the FAA and the NTSB because that would take so long.
And time and money.
And they were producing. They had these orders. They needed to get, so they cut corners. Yeah. And by cutting corners, one of the main instrumentations that shows you climbing or in level flight or your deck altitude would freeze up. Well, with a redundancy, you have something that backs that up. Well, in this case, they didn't have that, and they didn't know how to recover from that because they weren't trained about that in the simulator, and they were doing the simulator training. So that's what, the pilots didn't know what was going on. They were just reacting to what the instrumentation was telling them, and that's what in all our training, it's you believe, you trust your instruments.
Right.
And as soon as you take away that trust and put it in the hands of a pilot that's not sure what's going on, you see what happens.
Yeah, you know, it reminds me too. It was another documentary or something I saw one time, and it was something to do with, so the planes would go into a dive. It would just happen where it was a dive. So the pilot figured out, hey, I've got to flip this. I got to invert this plane upside down so it doesn't
pull
dive.
It out of the dive. Yeah, well, that was also in the movie Flight.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So there's something called the stick shaker. So if the plane thinks it's stalling, it's going to push the nose over. And in this situation, the plane wasn't stalling. But the plane's instrumentation thought it was stalling. Now, of course, you can kick off the autopilot and hand fly it, but they're trained to do certain things at 400 feet, 500 feet, 1,000 feet, and one of those things is to engage the autopilot. So the pilots are sitting there struggling, trying to figure out what's going on with it. They're getting inaccurate data sent to the autopilot. Well, the plane thinks, okay, well, I'm stalling. Let me push the nose over. Well, if you're in straight and level flight and the plane thinks it's stalling and pushes the nose over, what happens? The plane's now a lawn dart.
But that's just a malfunction of the electronics, or why would it believe that it's stalling? It's just poor maintenance.
Yeah, so if you have it's kind of like your pitch angle. So if it froze up, the instruments on the exterior of the plane froze, and the plane thinks it because it can't take the information that it needs.
It doesn't get the read.
Right. And when it does that, it usually will cross-check it with something else. So the planes I fly, we have redundancy. We have 3 FMSs. We have 3 of everything.
It cross-references
3
everything.
3 AHRs, the whole 9 yards. So it can take the better of the two. Well, in this case, it didn't happen. So the plane is under the impression, well, we're getting too slow, need more power, we're getting ready to stall.
Wow.
And if the attitude indicator is pitched up, and the actual autopilot thinks the plane's pitched up when it's not, then it's going to react to that, and that it's going to push the nose over. And when it does that, if you're doing 500 knots and the nose gets pushed over, it's hard to recover from that. Because when
it's a big overreaction.
Well, not only that, but you have to look at when you're pulling out of a dive like that, you're loading up those wings, and that's a lot of when you're pulling out of a dive, and let's just say the plane weighs 150,000 pounds, and you put 3 Gs. Well, you multiply that 150,000 by 3. And that's what the plane weighs now. When you're trying to pull out of that dive, and it makes sense. It can cause structural failure.
And by the way, you got to mention the backstory about Boeing too, with some of the whistleblowers. Right? Wasn't it Boeing, or was it a different one where they had the whistleblowers?
Yeah.
And there were Boeing guys too.
Yeah, they were Boeing guys, and they were like they find them dead in a car in a parking lot.
Yeah. All of a sudden, exactly.
So, but that just tells you. And now that they've finally been backed into a corner, and they're like, okay, we're just going to plead guilty and just pay out the monay.
Here's the next story.
Another airline has also come under fire over safety concerns. Southwest Airlines is being investigated by the FAA, while it's also battling a takeover attempt by a Wall Street investment firm. Here are the details as Daily Wire's senior editor, Joel Needler.
While not facing prosecution like Boeing, Southwest has been scrutinized over recent and alarming pilot mishaps. 3 incidents this year, including sudden altitude changes and taking off on a closed runway, have reportedly led to an investigation by the Federal Aviation Administration. The safety concerns put further stress on a boardroom that is battling Elliott Management, an activist investment group trying to take over the airline.
Hostile takeover. So there's a hostile takeover in the works there.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about stuff like that, but I mean, it's you never want to you never want an investment company to run an airline,
right?
Because you have to have experienced people. And these pilot mishaps, this is basically, we call this in aviation pilot deviations. So if you're doing something you're not supposed to do, like taking off on the wrong runway, missing your altitude, that's scary, because it's telling you that the pilot, number one, is obviously not paying attention to what's going on, and number two, could it be their inexperience? Because I have 2 friends that went through Southwest training, and after they got done with the training, they're like, we don't want to be a part of this because it scared the heck out of us. And they literally
left.
That
bad?
They're like, we don't want to fly for the company.
Well, why didn't they just call Pete Buttigieg?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he knows everything about aviation, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He knows everything about transportation. We got to take a quick break there, but when we come back, more with Captain Will Smith in studio. WillSmithAviation.com. Check him out online, WillSmithAviation.com. Also, the Captain's Blend Coffee.com, and more coming up with Captain Will. Feel good story of the day later on as well. 8 puppies abandoned but rescued. Feel good story coming up here. Consumer Quarterback Show.
Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes back here in studio. Captain Will Smith in the house. We're going to talk about his appearance recently on the Mike Gallagher show as well. Mike's syndicated in over almost 500 markets, I think. So that's a pretty cool topic. We're going to jump into that with Captain Will Smith here in studio with us. Before we do, hot listing here, 18522 Gulf Boulevard. This is one of our beach listings, $1 million listing on the beach, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F, Indian Shores. 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet, right on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of Indian Shores. Beautiful property. Now, we like to feature our listings on air. The strategy helps our sellers sell faster for more money. So if you're thinking about selling out there, we would love to talk to you. You can call the hotline or hit us up online, of course. 140 92nd Avenue, Treasure Island, Florida. Here's a great investment opportunity. What you have here is you have 2 renovated cottages on an oversized lot at 140 92nd Avenue, Treasure Island. 1.5 blocks from the beach and a quarter mile from a public boat launch. So you can launch your boat right there, enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Quick shout out to Solar Bear. If you're thinking about adding solar onto your home, we highly recommend Solar Bear, a longtime friend of the program. Say hello to Blake M. Brester and solarbear.com. You can check them out online. Solarbear.com, official solar sponsor of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Captain Will Smith back here in studio. So yeah, pretty cool, man. Opportunity to well, first of all, we got the backstory is a little bit of a $100 cheeseburger trip with Mike Gallagher, and then now he's got into your story, and just give us a little background on that story too, man.
Well, he was really interested in the story because he likes to see things like this from people that just don't give up and they continue to fight and fight and fight. And then we're watching Trump and what he was going through. I was texting him, I'm like, man, the same thing happened to me.
Yep.
I had a corrupt judge, I had a corrupt DA, I had a corrupt prosecutor, and then when they went to charge the jury, what really just gave me chills was they were doing the same thing as they did to me. If law should be implied or inferred.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there looking like, man, there's too many coincidences here. And he's like, we got to get on the show, talk about your story and how you just fought and you had your case overturned.
Yeah.
And you had the judge removed from the bench. And it's corrupt politics, and it's been going on for years.
Yes.
This is not something that just popped up recently. This has been going on because my case was back in 2004.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was going on before then. But with Mike, I had an interview with him yesterday, and we're just kind of talking about how corrupt the judicial system is and how I had to fight, especially when I was incarcerated to get out and get my life back.
Yeah.
And then creating the other book, Ditches to Riches, to help people that have been incarcerated or overcoming a struggle in life, how to get back up on their feet. So the Falling Through in the Sky book is it's my book sales have picked up. People are engaging in it because they are interested on how corrupt this judicial system is. And it's not you're not innocent until proven guilty anymore. You're guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
And look what they did with Donald Trump. I mean,
especially if you're a Republican in a Democrat district, especially like D.C. and some of these different areas. And I wanted to get to this story too, and I think you could weigh in on this too, Will, because it's kind of similar. This is Attorney General Ken Paxton in Texas. The White House has formally announced that Biden will veto the Republican bill that seeks to prevent non-citizens from voting. There is no hiding it now. Biden and the Democrats want illegal immigrants to vote in the election this November. Our elections are not safe from mass interference as long as states do not require proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. I can just feel my blood pressure going up as I'm reading that.
It's insane. Can we go to Canada and vote? Can we go to Germany and vote? Can we go to Mexico and vote for that president?
There's nowhere.
Then why in the heck?
It's unbelievable.
I mean, that's unconstitutional.
The battle lines are drawn. It's no more clear than that. Either you're a U.S. citizen and you can vote, or you're not and you shouldn't vote. Mm-hmm. And one party in this country thinks it's okay.
Yeah.
And here's Elon Musk. When combined with mail-in ballots, the system is designed to make it impossible to prove fraud. Mail-in and drop box ballots should not be allowed, as cameras on the in-person voting stations would at least prevent large-scale fraud by counting how many people showed up versus ballots cast. Another common sense, Alex. Another common sense.
I just say we have a Marine at every voting station, standing, an armed Marine, a couple of armed Marines standing there looking at your IDs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
We
got to do something.
We have to. I mean,
it's really states. The states have to.
We're losing the country. I mean, and this another insult to injury is the people that came here and paid their dues, become American citizens, and the cost. And now these people are coming in and getting it for free.
Yeah,
you might as well just spit in their face.
It's an insult
that you work for.
Insult.
It is an insult.
Yeah, it's an insult to the people of the past, like the American soldiers that fought for the right to preserve our country, for our freedoms and our liberty. The people that came over, like my family, that came over from this country correctly,
legally,
and followed due process to become American citizens and achieve the American dream. And now it's like, hey, you can do whatever you want. None of that crap matters anymore.
The people currently in line, they're like, hey, these people are voting. We got just about 30 seconds left. CaptainsBlendCoffee.com. Right. You can support it. Hold it up for the camera. CaptainsBlendCoffee.com. WillSmithAviation.com. You can check them out there. Support the local economy. Support the good guys here in Tampa Bay.
American roasted. Yeah. American roasted, American made.
I like it. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Well, thanks for coming in. And yeah, man, interesting stories. Boeing, Southwest Airlines. I mean, we hit on some pretty good topics today.
Always look left before you look right when you're getting onto an airplane.
Okay. There you go. All right. Good stuff. All right. Captain Will Smith. Check him out online. WillSmithAviation.com. WillSmithAviation.com for all your private pilot needs and also consulting as well. All right, good stuff. We got Orestes Destrade. I didn't roll the R's good enough there. Orestes Destrade in the house. He's coming up next, former MLB player, and we're looking forward to having a conversation with him, talking about Murphy Auto Group coming up here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show.
And we're back here in studio. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Coming up, we've got Orestes Destrade in studio with us. He's a former MLB player, Rays commentator, play-by-play. We're going to talk with him about Kingmakers as well. We got our event coming up. You're invited as well to Kingmakers. We'd love to invite our audience. We want to invite our entrepreneurial community out there, business owners. Come on out. It's Thursday, July 18th, 6 o'clock over at Kingmakers. Really cool, exciting new co-workspace / sports bar, green rooms, conference rooms, entrepreneurial type location. Really cool opportunity. Come on out. Thursday the 18th, 6 o'clock, 3707 West Carmen Street. We're going to have appetizers, food, and drinks provided. It's going to be a great time, so you can come on out and meet with us and meet some of our show partners, real estate team, and other entrepreneurs local in the Tampa Bay area. And we're going to talk about Murphy Auto Group as well. Mike Murphy was going to be here with us today, but he had got called to another meeting. So we're going to dive into that, as well as our feel-good story of the day coming up later on in the program. A couple of hot listings here. We like to feature our real estate listings live on air. The strategy helps us sell our real estate faster for more money with less headaches. 4931 Northeast 22nd Terrace in Ocala. This one's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 plus square feet, situated in a highly sought after neighborhood with no HOA. A lot of people say, I don't want the HOA. Well, we have a great opportunity for you here in Ocala. Now, the further north you go here in the Tampa Bay market, you're getting much more of value. You're getting a lot of value up in the northern listening audience. Inviting living room features, stone and wood burning fireplace, World Equestrian Center, shopping, schools, parks, very close by, easy access to downtown Ocala. 4931 Northeast 22nd Terrace in Ocala. Beautiful property listing from the Platinum MVP team. 7202 US Highway 301 South in Riverview, Florida. Commercial property. Now, we list vacant land, commercial and residential properties at the Platinum MVP team. And this one is a great opportunity on 301 South in Riverview. You've got two in one. You get a 2-in-1 here. You got a mechanic shop, a muffler shop there, and you also have currently another building that's operating as a barber shop, but that could easily be a real estate, insurance, lawyer office, attorney office. Great opportunity, tremendous income potential, 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day passing by, 7202 US Highway 301 South in Riverview. Another great listing from the Platinum MVP team. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Orestes Destrade, welcome back, sir.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, Brian and Alex. Obviously, you guys have a great show. Some cool listings there. I like that.
Thank you.
Treasure Island one. The cottages.
2 cottages.
Someone's going to jump on that one.
I love it, man.
That's Florida living really at its best.
That's right. Florida living at its best right there, man, for sure. So what's new, man? How you been? How are things going?
I've been good. Doing a lot of events, obviously, with the Murphy Auto Group and Miracle Toyota. Doing a lot of things tied to baseball. I'll be heading over to Japan in a few days for some of the stuff that I do over there, just my advertising and stuff like that, and appearances. Thank God that Japan loves me so much. But just this past weekend, which was a glorious good thing for America to celebrate our anniversary of 248th. We've got 2 more to go. I'm old enough to remember, the 1976 one. That was the centennial. It's really neat, and I hope that we'll be in the right position.
Yes.
If you guess what I mean.
Exactly.
When 250 comes along, and in the right administration will be in place
absolutely.
For that celebration. But we did have a great celebration. In fact, this baseball that I have, we gave away a lot of these,
That's
beautiful, cool. How cool is this one?
I love that.
That awesome. Was great, and that was Sunday. We gave away baseballs, had hot dogs, and watched the Rays unfortunately lose. They got rousted that game against the world champ Texas Rangers, defending world champs, and then and just a bunch of people came out and celebrated with us like a good old 7th of July, because it was actually on Sunday.
There you go. Yeah.
But it was July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
And the people over there, Mary Muse and Rusty and all their salespeople. I can't say enough about the Haines City Miracle Toyota. I'll give it my Spanish plug. Milagro Toyota, a donde un milagro le espera. You like that one? You like that one? I came up with that one, Alex. You like that one?
I like it.
Translate for me.
He said, "Go to Miracle Toyota, baby."
A miracle is waiting for you.
A miracle is waiting for you.
Milagro te espera.
Hold that ball up again for the camera there. The stars and stripes. Look at that. Beautiful.
This
stars and stripes, man. I love that.
And obviously, we definitely should always remember the anniversary of this great country. And I was listening when your last guest, Captain Bill, was talking about his plight.
Yeah.
And then Alex chimed in about families who do come in that legally,
exactly,
and he can relate to being Cuban descent, and I can relate, literally my age, coming in through Mexico and wanting to leave communist Cuba, and my parents going to the embassy.
How old were you?
I was 6, so I don't remember.
Yeah, right, but still,
but I know that we left our little town in Santiago, and then here we go, and I'm just being led by my arm. We're getting on a plane. To never come back, because what my dad was going to do was defect at the U.S. Embassy, and then we had family in New York,
right?
And then they did all the right paperwork.
Wow.
It took us a couple of months that we had to wait in a hotel in Mexico.
Yep.
And then we got legally accepted in,
and
did all things, and shortly thereafter we moved to Miami, and I grew up from 6 to I've been a Floridian ever since. So that plight is, there's millions of those stories.
Yes.
And we need to remember. What a great country that is, that when you do it correctly, and what a great country this is to have the system to do it correctly.
Right.
So let's re-energize that system as opposed to what's in place right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. The system was put in place to give people a chance.
Correct.
We never said
how beautiful is that?
We never said we don't want nobody
exactly.
here. You can't come in. We said no. We love people. We want people to be here.
That would be foolish. That's what this country is about.
We have to do it the correct way. You can't just leave the door open and let everybody come in.
Well, my grandparents were first generation from Portugal. So imagine at the turn of the century, roughly, coming over. Getting on a boat, figuring out, hey, I'm going to go to this new country with nothing in my pockets, probably, right? You hear these stories. But yeah, that's why people want to be here. So then when I look at the left, and a lot of times these people that think it's so bad and they want to call it a racist country because the founders owned slaves, I think about, well, at that time, and in the Bible it says you have to judge the man and the person and the time in which they were there. At that time, everybody had slaves across the globe.
Yeah.
So they're starting off with a lie to these young people, and unfortunately, it's resonating. It's working through the universities, and it's working its way into academia, and then those people become, teachers, etc. So that's why we're seeing all this leftist nonsense and the trans and the cutting off the kid's breast and all of that type of thing. That's you don't really want to bring it up in polite society, but you have to these days.
Well, you have to, and also, Brandon, if you really go, because history is to be studied.
Exactly.
for the sense of where are you going?
Exactly.
Right?
You got to learn from the past.
Exactly.
You have to
in
learn
order
from
to
the
move
past.
to the future. So if the history is, forget about the United States. Let's just go back thousands of years. The Roman empires.
Anywhere.
So then you would have to completely take off. Italy and all these other countries that came in and just overwhelmed the indigenous people that were there.
Right.
So of course, there's some atrocities and some things, and you just try to overcome that and take the best that you can, decipher, like the Constitution and like different things that
Bill of Rights,
the Bill of Rights, and things that you take forward and you change things and you create civil rights,
exactly,
and you create opportunities for gay and lesbian marriages, and you create things that that makes we understand that things have changed. But you don't do it, where so all whites are the worst because they oppressed us hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, exactly. That many years ago, exactly.
Yeah.
If you
I'm with baseball, so I believe in. I'm a dark-skinned Hispanic, so I couldn't play in the 40s and 50s. So I'm very thankful for what has happened.
Exactly, yeah. But the people like Jackie Robinson, that
Orestes Minoso, who was the first black Hispanic to play in the major leagues.
Very cool,
yeah. Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, Roberto Clemente comes to mind.
Yeah.
We're talking with Orestes Destrade here. He's a former Yankee MLB player, also current Rays commentator, play-by-play, and does.
Well, not current. I'm actually not this year, but I've heard 12 years I was.
And you got the ring. So let's show that ring. You brought the ring today.
Proud of this. So and we should be, because obviously they didn't win the World Series, but even for the broadcasters, they gave us a ring. So this is a beautiful, the 2020 American League Championship.
Love it.
And what a great season that was, and a great experience that this community got to share, because baseball, no doubt, is a community sport.
And you're working with Mike Murphy. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Mike Murphy and Murphy Auto Group.
Well, I can't say enough about the Murphy Group on a whole, Murphy Auto Group, but obviously they have the Haines City Miracle Toyota, which is a wonderful dealership, and not only with the greatest selling dealership as far as I'm talking about the Toyota brand. It's number Toyota. One in across all boards in all the states. So obviously it's a great product. But the things that they do there and the unique things, obviously their service plan, they're doing something coming up for the cancer awareness, military. He's very, very on top of our veterans. So they give so many discounts and so many kind of things that in order to be community minded. And then he's also obviously has the dealerships up in Augusta, Georgia. Just been really impressed with the operations that they do, and how beyond just making money they are.
Exactly.
And that's why one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of partner with them, and obviously the great combination of the event between consumer QB and Kingmakers, which is about to just blow up and open its doors for real right around football season in the early September. But you guys are having a nice event July 18th.
I love it. Yeah, it's our monthly get-together, kind of a networking event, a gratitude party. Every third Thursday we're hosting that. So this one's going to be Thursday, July 18th, 6 o'clock. Are you going to be there?
I am not. I'm actually going to be, like I said, I'm going to be traveling that day, unfortunately. But I will say that the great thing about Kingmakers and those they're going to start knowing more and more about it, and obviously through your experience, you've probably been already over there physically, but being able to bring consumer QB over there, it's going to be that this place is unique, man. For me, it's a combination of like the Oxford Exchange meets the Tampa Club. The Tampa Club is no doubt high end and done many great events, and it's a membership club. But the Oxford Exchange is a place that you can rent or use or be to be able to have meetings.
Yep.
That's what this thing is going to be, and not to mention a think tank. So a lot of great things, I think, for the community and for businesses that we want to continue to grow in this great Tampa Bay area.
It's invaluable when you think about it. When you're a small business owner and you are, kind of up and coming, or maybe you change careers. Let's look at it like that. Maybe I just got out of the military. Maybe I changed careers, and I'm looking for like-minded individuals. I'm looking to kind of pick the brain and get mentorship from people. I believe that's why Mike set this up, isn't it?
I believe it is. I think one of the goals that he has, him being already a young 40, I think he's going to be 40 in November, and a well-established and millionaire entrepreneur.
Yep.
He wants to create other millionaire entrepreneurs, especially in this, what I call kind of almost the banana area here, starting from Lakeland on down, Sarasota, Bradenton of our Tampa Bay, if we will, because we all share it almost. I think that's important, because the more that we are healthy and vibrant, the more that this is a great livable area, which I think is one of the best cities in or areas in the United States of America.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Tampa Bay, the greater Tampa Bay area, the best place to live, work, and play in the country.
I think so, man. I mean, and I'm a Miami original guy. And Alex knows Miami very well too.
305.
I'm all about Mr. 305 and Armando Pitbull, but the reality is that the 727-813,
it's beautiful.
941, it's really,
and it's less crazy.
It's fun to visit Miami.
It's
great to visit Miami.
I always say that Miami is fun to visit, but I would not live there, and I lived there. I had lived there in the past.
What about driving there now these days?
Horrific. I hated it. I hated it.
People complain here; they have no idea.
You have no idea.
Just go spend a weekend over there. Not even a holiday weekend. Just any weekend.
That's a true metropolis. That area is so
it's
different.
Atlanta. When you get into Atlanta and the and the wackiness of 95 up there, and or New York or Chicago or LA.
Although I like the mayor a little bit more down there. He seems a little bit more level-headed from what I gather, right?
Where, Miami?
Yeah, Miami.
He is. And actually, I'm very good friends with the mayor of Dade County, Levine Cava. And there's no doubt, that Miami is listen, their budget is $14 billion for a county.
Yeah.
They only are superseded, I believe, by L.A., San Francisco, and like Chicago.
Probably some New York.
New York. That's it.
Yep.
So they got a lot of money to work with.
All right, we got to take a quick break here. Coming back more with Orestes Destrade in studio with us. Of course, Alex Black Belt Lima alongside as well. Coming up, our feel good story of the day: 8 puppies abandoned in sweltering Texas heat, rescued by deputies, and now ready for new homes. Feel good story coming up here, and more of this great conversation here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, online at consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, coming at you with a feel-good story of the day. A couple of hot listings before we do. 2790 Pinellas Point Drive, South St. Petersburg. Beautiful property, wide open floor plan, beautiful kitchen here as well. 2790 Pinellas Point Drive South, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2236 square feet. Culinary enthusiasts will absolutely delight in this fully renovated kitchen, open floor plan, beautiful property, close and easy access to the Skyway Bridge right here in Pinellas County. 7325 Skybird Road, number 399. This one's down in Manatee, Bradenton, Manatee County. Great opportunity here for a beautiful condo. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage, 1520 square foot condo with lake views. Lots of updates and upgrades, completely renovated recently. Beautiful property, granite countertops, wood cabinets, stainless steel appliances, and an 81-foot lagoon-style heated pool in the community. Great opportunity. You can see all of our listings, PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. All right, we'd love to tell you something good, little injection of positivity here. So you had 8 puppies that were abandoned in sweltering Texas heat, rescued by deputies and ready for new homes. 8 puppies were rescued in extreme heat in Fort Worth, Texas, after being abandoned in a carrier without water on a 100-degree day. Good Samaritan discovered the puppies, alerted authorities. County police and animal control quickly responded, providing puppies with a much-needed fluids. The puppies are now recovering at the Chuck and Brenda Silcox Animal Care and Adoption Center will be ready for adoption in about a week. Officer Colin Stevenson already expressed interest in adopting one. The puppies believed to be Shepherd mixes, and they were named after famous chip brands like Frito and Dorito. So abandoning animals, by the way, is a third-degree felony. So don't think about abandoning animals there. So Orestes Destrade in studio with us. Orestes, interesting story. We always try to do a feel-good story too, man. You know.
Oh, no, I think they're great. I got one for you that you're going to hopefully enjoy.
Okay.
And it's a feel-good story, but it's kind of sad. Okay. So I'm looking at it. I like to look up like weird stories every day. And one of them is, there it is, civil servant robot.
Okay.
Commits suicide in South Korea.
No way.
Oh, I saw that.
So Korea, South Korea, obviously not North Korea, the good, the good one.
Yeah.
South Korea is a bustling country and kind of overworked to some degree.
Right.
Like a lot of these countries, people don't realize.
Yeah.
They're Greece, they're taxing their people, and I don't mean just physically money. Taxing like we need a more consumer gross product.
Yeah.
Get out there, and they're working 55 hours a week, right? In fact, they just tried to pass a law that they wanted to go to 69 hours.
Wow.
So they use a lot of robots. They're the most robot-using country in the world.
Wow.
For service, and this one happened to be a robot that had been working at the civil center, right? A county center.
It's like a government building.
Government building.
There you go.
And it would, deliver forms and papers and go up and down the elevator, and they got used to it. They befriended it, and it became almost part of the family. He goes one day, and I guess was running awry, and he threw himself down the stairs.
Oh, no.
Completely kaput, broke, done. And the country is like, in that city, is mourning him almost like a person.
Oh, my goodness.
That they think he committed suicide, so they're taking it like,
wow.
Talk about being overworked. Even the robot said, I've had it,
Wow.
I can't take, like Network, the movie, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah. That's hilarious, man. That is interesting.
So we don't have it that bad over here.
No, yeah. Well, it reminds me, you were talking about, the plight of the citizens, and you think about modern day slavery. I mean, China, the Uyghur Muslims, they are literally modern day slaves. So where are all the leftists jumping up and crying about them?
Right.
Or where are the university protesters complaining about the Uyghur Muslims in unfair work environments, Alex?
It doesn't fit an agenda that's like, for
exactly
for us. It's true, and that's why that's not talked about.
Yeah, well, exactly, and it's the green new scam is what that is basically. All right, we got a couple minutes left. I wanted to get back to so Murphy Auto Group. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
And then also, with Kingmakers, I love the idea of this entrepreneurship and the ability to bounce ideas off of people who have already been there.
Yeah. And I think that, one of the things that you mentioned it before just a few minutes ago, that he's looking not only for current businesses that might want to use this great, incubator scenario.
Yeah.
That are established, but new young entrepreneurs to work and kind of come in connection with these, already established companies in the Tampa Bay area to come together and then, grow exponentially that way. A guy to consider and think about is like Bubba Holden, a former player with the UM. He was a star defensive back safety, and he's one of the kids that, and I say kids because he's 24 25 years old.
Yep.
And he's given him a great opportunity to come in and partake in this endeavor. So I can't say enough about Murph, man. Mike is a very rare, talk about a think tank guy, thinker. His mind is always thinking and always kind of,
connecting dots,
man. It's a great way to put it, Brandon. And almost like way faster than the regular, talk about robots, way faster than you and I.
Yeah.
Because you'll sit with him, you talk for a while, and you can see it in his eyes. He goes, well, how about this?
Yeah.
And how about that? And that's entrepreneurial, and that's, next level, next gen of how to achieve certain things.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Check him out online, Murphy Auto Group, Mike Murphy Auto Group. Kingmakers as well. I believe there's a website out there for Kingmakers, but join us on Thursday, July 18th, 6 o'clock, and you'll get to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Kingmakers, July 18th, 6 o'clock. 3707.
Miracle Toyota, too, in Haines City.
Miracle Toyota. Check out Miracle Toyota. And if you're going to buy an automobile, reach out. We'd love to put you in touch with them. If you want a better one-on-one connection, we'll put you in touch as well. But Orestes, thanks for coming in.
Always good, B. Thanks, Alex.
All right. Hey, another great show. I want to thank our producers behind the scenes putting the show together, all of our listening audience, of course. And thank you for following us. Please follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1, at CQB Show, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more awesome content like this. Thanks to Captain Will Smith, Orestes Destrade, and, of course, Alex, the Black Belt Lima production team. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.